Hi, I'm Chad with Spearhead. Thanks for joining me. We're going to dive into the really meat and potatoes of what we call our relationship machine. And salespeople, this is for you because I've been at this for 25 years now, and I've been in a lot of different selling environments and seen some good practices and seen some awful practices. But at the end of the day, we have to realize that marketing in 2015, coming into 2016, is different than it was 10 years ago, 20 years ago. A lot of tools at our disposal, and as salespeople, we may or may not have a marketing department taking the lead on those things. We know that we maybe like to leverage those things. This is where you really need to lean in. At this point, we have gone through strategy, which means you've established your company's positioning, your brand personality, and you have a plan. As salespeople, you've been given the assignment of the 3 C's, so identifying the companies, the contacts, and coming up with a plan for conversion into contracts, so companies, contacts, and contracts. We now, at this point, have gone through the basics of contact management and what we need out of our contact management system. And I'm going to take it from there with the next piece of the puzzle here, which I call offers. And it's really simple. You want to think about your trajectory that we mentioned in our last video. If a person comes on board, they've bought into your positioning, there's an opportunity or a threat that you've helped them see in their future. And there's a reason for them to engage with your brand, okay? They've come on board with you because you made a good first impression, okay? And that coming on board with you can happen in a lot of ways. It could be a networking event where you've just exchanged business cards. It could be advertising or an offer that you first put out there to the marketplace, going to a trade show, putting a booth out there, getting someone to respond to an ad or what have you. You're making a first impression. And so those are good examples of what I would call offers in a sense, trade shows and ads, and they're well suited for making a good first impression. I want you to think about your follow-up system. So if you think, okay, I met this person and for whatever reason I don't have a plan, they're just going to magically turn into a client. We know that's just not going to happen, right? You have to follow up, stay in touch. The question is, with what? And how are we going to do that? So from a nurturing point of view, if we load up our database from trade shows and ads with a whole bunch of contacts, how are we going to stay in touch with those folks in a way that's helpful to them, engaging to them, and allows them to take steps with us, right? Build trust. Go ahead and give it a try, right? Try our system. Team up with us, right? How do they get to a point where we depend on each other? How do they get to the point where we advocate for each other, right? So we know we need to develop these relationships. They need to continue to deepen, and how are we going to do that? So the idea of an offer, I'm going to give you 4 categories of things to think about. So if you were to say, okay, I'm going to come up with a way to provide information or training, that's a category that would certainly be valuable to people that you've met as a way of staying in touch. It's also a way to offer something to the marketplace for the first time, right? To make a good first impression. So down here, we might also throw these tools or offer concepts into this stage of the relationship. A second bucket to think about is your products and services. And what I mean by that is you may not be in a position to ask them to jump on board and start buying from you right away because you just haven't gotten there yet, but you certainly can offer them a sample, some free consulting, design, go ahead and sample your product, whatever that might be. That's a way to do that. A third bucket is what I call engagement. And that's where we're talking about things like open houses or contests, competitions, things of that nature. So we know when people are responding to an offer of engagement, we're going to be doing things with them. And then the fourth bucket, which I think is often overlooked, is just simply keeping people up to date on our company, on our brand. Has anything changed with the opportunity or threat that our positioning is addressing? Has anything changed in our company's vision and approach? Has our staff had any changes? Our leadership team, have we changed our fulfillment? Have we changed the equipment that we use? Have we changed our facility? Have we moved locations? All those types of things are good ways to stay up to date with people, okay? Now, I'm going to come back to, the relationship development process, because not all offers are equally effective at each step of the relationship. So we want to think about our database. We want to think about the stage of relationship that people are in and offer them things that are appropriate for where they're at in their relationship with us. So if I've made a good first impression, okay, I put together a good show, a good ad, I provided some information and training, maybe in my ad as a call to action, and people have taken advantage of that, what might I do to take it to the next step? And which would be to build trust. One of the nice things you can do as far as an information offer is to facts, things that support the opportunity or threat that you envision in the future for them, that are true, facts, third-party acknowledged, things that it's not from you, there's a well-tested credentials, okay? Another thing you might do is to say, okay, I have a way to get you to this opportunity or to avoid this threat in the future. Here's a sample of what we're talking about that might helps build trust. Case studies are also good offers that can be used to build trust. Then you get up here to, okay, I want you to give it a try. Well, those are trial offers. You see those all the time, right? Convert people over into giving it a try. So a trial offer means commit to something forever. We just want you to give it a shot. It might be a project, might be a one-off project, might be a special way to get on board. You might also pull out the training category again at this stage because now that they've kind of believe you and they believe that they should listen to what you have to say, they might be willing to open to accept some training that would then make them even a more valuable client. Then you kind of move into, okay, I'm going to get beyond trying it. I kind of like what I've experienced. And you get on this depend on each other bucket. And you think, okay, what can I offer clients that are repeat? They're doing business with us every day, okay? And this can be a tough one because you're busy, transactions are going all the time, and salespeople are looking for an excuse to get back in there, but sometimes hard to do. My suggestion would be to think about things you can do to streamline your relationship at this point. You already depend on each other. Now, what can you do to make it easier? So you might look at things like early pay discounts. You might look at instant reorders. You might look at bundling orders, things that you can do to just make things simple, okay? So I'm going to call these sort of transactional benefits, okay, of achieving that level of the relationship. And then the last step here, okay, when we get to advocacy, what could we offer people who have already depended on each other, taking advantage of the things that we've had to offer at a transactional strategic partner level? I'm thinking of things like mutual open houses at their facility. They're using it for lead generation. You're there to support them, providing your equipment, services, and support. Thinking of editorials, right? Where both companies are benefiting through the advocacy of each other, okay? So that you're on the front page of an industry magazine or what have you. It's just a real life case study based on your experience. So these are really the three main concepts I wanted to transfer to you today. The first is to think again about there being a trajectory of the relationship, each of the steps along the way being paired up with an offer that allows the contacts you have in your database, as well as contacts you do not yet have in your database, as a way to grab onto an offer, okay? You're going to host that offer on your website, You're going to use your web technology, which we're going to talk about in our next video, to track the behavior of these contacts around these offers. And you're going to promote these offers through both direct marketing, things like e-blast, direct mail, and so forth, and indirect marketing, so your PR, your advertising channels, and so forth. Driving traffic back to your website, converting back into your database. Now, I said earlier, this is for salespeople. Salespeople, imagine Monday morning getting a report that shows you not just existing contacts that you already knew about, but also new people. Actively engaging with these offers on your website, responding to your promotions. Those are the people that you get to follow up on Monday morning. That's all. Thank you.